R2 back course talking FF7 and a little bit of Kingdom Hearts. So we have an interview coming out with Tetsuya Nomura in a few days, September 19th, Thursday. We're going to talk about the remake trilogy a bit, several different things about it, but also apparently Kingdom Hearts. I don't know in what capacity. I say a bit, but it's apparently kind of like a bigger interview. It's 3 pages long, whatever that means. He also talks about Aerith and like the final chapter, Rebirth and stuff, their favorite topic that we talk about every single interview. So Audrey dropped this tweet yesterday that says, Nomura has a new interview with Young Jump Magazine Volume 42 out September 19th. He delves into the remake trilogy and reveals never-before-seen secrets on the birth and creation of Tifa and Aerith. He also talks a bit about Kingdom Hearts in his interview. Exciting stuff. If we pop over to the article that she linked to, it's a Japanese website, like Ryokutia2089. Obviously, we're using some auto-translate. It says, a long interview with Tetsuya Nomura, creator of Final Fantasy. Obviously not a creator, it's part of the auto-translate. And Kingdom Hearts will be published by Young Jump issue 42. First time information included, spoilers kept to a minimum, some corrections. Without warning, a 3-page long interview with Tetsuya Nomura was published. It mainly touches on the FF7 Remake trilogy, but also includes some behind-the-scenes information about Tetsuya Nomura's personal tastes. The reason for making the remake trilogy, expressing the difference in perception of FF7. The reason for making handsome protagonists in his own works is because of a certain game. How to make enemy characters, the birth of Aerith and Tifa revealed for the first time here, the secrets of production, designs such as, I'm not sure what these circles are supposed to be, hairstyles that were born from the constraints of game production, the contents of complex costume designs, thoughts on player opinions, and to what extent should a creator reflect player opinions. So that's kind of interesting, a lot of stuff there for just kind of going down the list, like him talking about the reason for making the remake trilogy. I mean, we've heard this from other devs before, they just kind of want to remake it for like a modern audience, right? Incorporate a lot of like the compilation into the remaking of the FF7 story. So, I mean, there's maybe some other shit he'll talk about, but we've kind of heard reasons before from the devs for why they're making it. Also, money. Personally, the difference in the perception of FF7, I'm not really sure what that would be exactly. I'm pretty curious about what game it is that compels him to want to have like handsome protagonists in his games, and whether it's like a male or female character. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having an attractive character that you're controlling, right? I don't really care too much. I mean, they could be like ugly as shit, and as long as the game's good, it's fine. But I'm kind of curious what game compels him to like make, I guess, hot male protagonists. With our boy Zack being the most handsome, of course. The how to make enemy characters, I assume, is from like a design standpoint, like a creative standpoint, obviously, because he designs a lot of like the main characters and the enemies and shit in the games. Part about like the birth of Aerith and Tifa and like behind the scenes shit that we've never heard before, I don't really know what that'd be, because we do have a little bit of stuff like that. Obviously, over the years, the game's over 25 years old at this point, pushing 30 years. We have like character concept art and which characters were made first and things like that. A timeline of character creations, so we know a decent amount about that shit. So I don't really know what information he would have that we've not heard before. It'd be kind of interesting. The part that talks about like the hairstyles and like the constraints of like production, I guess back in the day on like the PS1 maybe. I don't know what it's about. It's talking about hairstyles, so maybe like Cloud's an obvious one because he's got a kind of crazy hairstyle, and then maybe like Sephiroth, or I don't know. I don't really know what it'd be because it has the circles on both like the original Japanese website and obviously the auto-translated website, so I don't know what those are exactly. Nomura talking about complex costume designs. What's complex, my guy? Zippers and fucking belts? We've seen enough of them. Do something different. Like, I'm tired, Nomura. What's going on with Rufus's character model? What are these belts even doing? What at all do they add to the outfit? The last bit, though, where he talks about, like, players' opinions and to what, like, degree should a creator, like, reflect player opinions. We've heard this before. I don't know if he's talked about it, but one of the devs has before. We cover a lot of interviews on the channel, so we've heard them kind of talk about that. I think to a certain degree, you should take player feedback, but it shouldn't, like, super affect a work. Unless you just, like, make a shitty game, then obviously you want to take in a lot of feedback and make a better game the second time. Ultimately, I do want them to like make their vision, right? Even if I disagree with things that happen in Remake or Rebirth, I wouldn't want them to like compromise what their plans were for the Remake trilogy, and that's sort of what feels like happened with Rebirth, even if it didn't. I said this in the last video. It's what the vibe I get playing Remake and then playing Rebirth. It feels like they hit like a 180 and kind of like changed direction a little bit. That might not be true. That's kind of the vibe I get, and I don't know if that's because of player feedback or whatever, if they just got cold feet or whatever. I don't know. If they haven't like changed direction in the middle of making the Remake trilogy because of like fan feedback, whether positive or negative, then makes them do something completely different than what they were planning on doing from the beginning. And the rest of the article says, etc. For details on how Tetsuya Nomura responded, please read the magazine. The last point is closely related to Aerith's treatment in the final chapter, so he spoke carefully and in detail. The full interview has been released not only in the magazine, but also online, and he also talks about Kingdom Hearts for the first time. We're looking forward to it. So yeah, we get to hear about the ending of Rebirth some more and Aerith, and it says they talk in like pretty good detail about it, so maybe we'll get some sort of new information, but I mean, they're obviously wanting people to talk and have debates about what the ending means and what happened, so we're never going to get any sort of concrete answer, so it's always not really that interesting. But who knows, maybe it'll surprise us. And then it says that it'll talk about Kingdom Hearts for the first time. I assume that's about like an upcoming project, because this would not obviously be the first time Tetsuya Nomura's ever talked about Kingdom Hearts. I suppose it might be about one of the upcoming Kingdom Hearts games. We obviously have like the mobile game Missing Link. I don't really keep up with it. I don't know what all's going on with that, but I know they had like a like a beta. Was it last year, this year, or something? And I don't know whatever happened with that game. And then obviously Kingdom Hearts 4. So maybe he'll talk about one of those. I know there's like a new arc kicking off. Wasn't Kingdom Hearts 3 like the end of whatever that arc was? Like Kingdom Hearts 1 to 3 was like an arc, and then this is like a new arc or something. I don't know the lore too much on Kingdom Hearts. You guys can let me know. That's really kind of it. It's kind of like short and to the point. I just want to get through this really quickly, let you guys know. We have this coming up on Thursday, which is pretty cool. And we also have like the rumor state of play. It should be happening this week. I believe the leak said like the 19th or the 20th, right? So if that's true, then we'll probably hear about it from PlayStation themselves on Wednesday. They'll be like tomorrow, state of play. Or we'll hear about it on Thursday, and they'll say tomorrow on Friday. Hopefully we get some cool shit this week, whether it's through this interview with Tetsuya Nomura about, you know, Rebirth and FF7 and Kingdom Hearts, or maybe something cool from the state of play. Anyways, dudes, that's the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Search works in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, _YT. That's it. Bye. I don't know why I did that voice.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Rogaine, or leave it like Cobain.